One of the hardest parts of healing, and one of the most essential parts to really truly be able to move on, is to learn how to forgive yourself. We are so good at looking at a situation, understanding it, forgiving the person that's hurt us, forgiving everything that's around us. But when it comes to actually forgiving ourselves for it, that's where we often get stuck. That's where we often really, really struggle to truly accept our own part within a situation and truly allow ourselves to understand the reason why we reacted the way that we did. If you've not seen me before, my name is Abby the Mindset Fairy. I'm an intuitive tarot reader, motivational speaker, and mindset coach. And what I mean by really truly taking accountability for it is when we look at something that's caused us pain, something like staying in a situation for too long, or not making the leap to try something new when we had the opportunity, or not making that choice to confess our feelings to someone and see where that went. When we feel that we have missed opportunities either to leave something or to start something, when we start to heal, we look at those situations and we look at, okay, I missed it. What do I learn from that? And it may be that we forgive the person that hurt us, or that we understand the other factors as to why we made the decisions that we did. But the final part of that is to forgive yourself for the decisions that you made during that time. And this is something that I really, really, really struggled with. So I was in a abusive relationship for many, many years. And I, for the longest time, ignored all the signs, ignored all the flags, pushed it to one side. I didn't address it. I didn't look at it. I was just like, oh, well, everyone has problems. Everyone has issues, and really pushed it under the rug. And when I was eventually ready to look at it and see it for what it was, I still didn't leave. I still stayed there for 4 or 5 years before I actually left, and then in that time I was seeing the situation, I was recognizing the flags, I was ready to look at the flags, but I wasn't ready to make the decision to leave. I gave myself excuses. I talked myself into thinking that it would get better, and obviously it didn't. And then eventually I was ready to leave, and I left. And as part of my healing for that, I looked at it and I was like, okay, I wasn't ready to make the decision. I wasn't ready to see it. And then I wasn't ready to make the decision to leave. And I berated myself for it. I dragged myself through the coals. I went over and over and over again in my mind. Why did I not see it? Why did I not make that decision? Why did I stay for as long as I did? Why did I allow myself to get deeper and deeper into this situation where it's harder and harder to get yourself out of it, knowing that it was abusive, knowing that it wasn't right, and I still allowed myself to do it. And I really, really put myself through it. And that isn't healing, but it is part of healing. Because for the longest time, it took me so long to recognize that I didn't make the decisions at that time simply because I was not ready to make the decisions at that time. I wasn't ready to see it for what it was. I wasn't ready to give up on a whole life that I'd envisaged for myself with that person. I wasn't ready to make the decision to walk away. I walked away when I was ready to make that decision. And I can go over it over and over again as many times as I want to, and it will not change the fact that I wasn't ready to make that decision at that time. And one of the most important parts of healing is not only recognizing that you weren't ready to make the decision, but also forgiving yourself for not being ready. We put so much pressure on ourselves to live in a certain way, to do things in a certain way, to, as soon as we recognize it, action it and just go for it. And there's an opportunity, I'm going for it. when there's so much more to it than that. And sometimes it simply comes down to, at that stage in your life, you were not ready to make that decision. You were not ready to make the decision to go for that opportunity. You were not ready to make the decision to walk away. You were not ready to make the decision to take that risk. And that is okay. You can forgive yourself for that, because we are human and we're not ready for the same things at the same times as everyone else. And to really understand that the person that you are now is not the person that you were then. So you may be ready to make those decisions now. You may be at that point where you can look at things for what they are and go, that's not working for me, I'm walking away. And instead of berating yourself for not being able to make those decisions when you were younger, we should be celebrating ourselves for how much we have progressed from the point that we weren't ready to make those decisions to now when we are ready to make those decisions. Now when we are ready to prioritize ourselves, to prioritize our dreams, to prioritize healthy relationships and new careers and new homes, and ready to make that move. Because there's nothing to be ashamed of that you weren't ready at the time, because life is all about growing. It's all about us developing. It's all about us learning and moving forward. And if you have repeated the same cycle over and over again, it's because you weren't ready to learn the lesson. And we often think of it and go, well, I've missed that opportunity now. But whoever you believe in, God, source, spirit, the universe, will always provide you with opportunities when you are ready to receive them. And it may not be exactly the same as what it was before, but now that you are ready to do it, it will be so much better. So forgive yourself for not being ready to make the decisions. Stop negatively talking to yourself and berating yourself for making those decisions when you would not berate a child for making a decision that an adult doesn't make. You would not say to your friend, well, finally, I can't believe you took so long to leave that relationship. You would celebrate them for getting to the point that they're able to do it. So celebrate yourself for being ready to take control of your life, for being ready to make those difficult decisions, for growing to the point that you're able to do it. Forgive yourself and celebrate yourself for how far you've come. I hope that helps, and I'll speak to you guys all soon. Bye.